Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
Should we just become best friends? Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Let's do it. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins is out. He's got a doctor's appointment today, getting cleared to come back to work next week. He's excited about that.
I bet he is.
Oh, buddy, he's chomping at the bit. There's so much to talk about, and he wants to talk about everything in like 10 minutes. And then you got, they're talking about ICE, and what do you expect? And, next week should be a whole lot of fun. J.D. Vance, I don't know if you heard what he had to say yesterday. He had a message for Gavin Newsom and anybody that's demonizing law enforcement, because you can tell after what happened at that ICE facility in Dallas yesterday, he's pretty much had it.
Mm-hmm. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement. Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
All right.
Yes. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who've just kind of had it with this stuff because, like the vice president said, I mean, it's one thing to oppose immigration policies and say, hey, I want ICE off of the streets or whatever. I mean, then work with them, bring them into the tent. But right now it's all hashtag resist, resist, resist. When Tom Homan, which we're going to have a clip of him in just a couple minutes, when he's been out there saying, hey, look, if you have a problem with the laws, talk to Congress, not us. We're executing the jobs that we are statutorily required to do.
And the attacks have gone up over 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's what happens when people make it okay to attack ICE agents. This is Tom Homan.
When they have a congressman or someone that ran for vice president of the United States comparing ICE to Nazis, that gives some of these nuts and emboldens them to take action. And there's been 3 shootings in Texas alone. There was a gunman that showed up at Border Patrol facility and started shooting at them. He picked the wrong facility. He picked a SWAT facility, and those officers end up taking his life. Then there's a shooting just south of Dallas where they attacked an ICE facility, and one officer was shot in the neck. Then this latest incident. This is based on hate. Hate that's being fueled by the media and members of Congress and governors and mayors. You played it. You played it on your show. We got to stop. ICE agents are enforcing the law Congress enacted. If you don't like what ICE is doing, then go tell Congress, because they wrote the laws that ICE is obligated and took an oath to enforce. They're making this country safe again. Every day they take a public safety threat or a national security threat off the street, it makes that community safer. All these politicians and mayors and governors should be calling President Trump and thanking them.
And it's ridiculous when you have people saying we need to unmask them.
Yeah.
You know what that tells me? They want violence because they know when you dox these ICE agents and say, here's where they are, what are you saying? You want them, at the very least, threatened and to feel intimidated. And more, well, if something happens, well, sort of like you got it coming when you were, acting like the, quote, modern-day Gestapo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just disgusting. And I don't think there's any way that the left and media can say, well, it's not like we've been furthering that and
right.
asking for violence. I mean, many people have put together montages of, well, I'll just play it for you as an example. You've got it all over.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain.
When I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
We will continue to call out the terrorist organization that is ICE.
Terrorist organization.
Everything is legitimate and proper. Why are you wearing masks?
This is not Germany. That's the SS and the Gestapo.
They're acting more like vigilantes than of agents of our government.
Yeah.
Fomenting it, man. I know, dude. And the thing is, where is anyone on that side calling that out, saying we have to stop saying these things? Have you heard outside of Fetterman anybody do it?
It's basically John Fetterman. He's the only one who's loudly saying it, or at least the only one I've seen.
Then save the listen. Political violence of any kind is wrong. Don't say that because you're fomenting it. You know, and people have pointed out, think of what's just happened in the last couple of weeks as far as leftist. Murdered Charlie Kirk. Shot an ABC affiliate for not airing Kimmel. Shot a wedding up yelling Free Palestine. Shot people at an ICE facility. Have had celebrations and celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder in the streets of New York City, trying to intimidate other people. And you ask yourself, is that domestic terrorism?
Yeah, it is.
It is. It absolutely is. Robbie Starbuck was pointing that out yesterday. Yes, it absolutely has to stop. People on the left, I mean, their hearts have been shown for the world to see. There's a darkness there. Yeah. And I know a lot of people say this all stems from hating Trump. That may or may not be. It could be a number of different things. I don't think, that's not a part of it.
Yeah.
But with Trump, anything he says, it's anti. They're going to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the whole Tylenol autism story is controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had all the clips from Dr. Marty McCary and Jay Bhattacharya and, what the different studies have said. But one of the trends early on was pregnant women on social media popping Tylenol, saying, here's what I think of the president telling me I can't take Tylenol.
Oh, my gosh.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know if you saw what was being shared all over social media. It's one of those things where you're trying to verify, holy smokes, is this true? It's the executive director of the American Frontline Nurses talking about getting a call early in the morning from this guy, and I'll let her explain this.
So it's about, it's going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, a very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol. And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator.
All right, pause that for a second. Is that real?
Sounds like something that she heard secondhand, but I mean, I don't know.
She's saying she got the call from the husband.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean,
people are taking it as real as far as I know. Okay, and she goes on.
And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And
I wouldn't make it about you right now, but anyway,
she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the three most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with, so don't get censored. But now people are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. I mean, weren't these the same people who put Harvard and Fauci and the pillars of science on a pedestal? And now they refuse to believe it. Like, I don't believe it either. But I'm also not going to go overdose on Tylenol either.
Holy mackerel,
right.
Dude.
You're not going to just go and take a bunch of Tylenol to prove Trump something. I don't know.
And I'm like, oh, is that true? Does that really happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is. I would not be surprised.
Man.
No, we'll see in the end. Yeah, I'm getting confirmation. Yep, that recent story is true.
Wow. That is sad. But
just to prove Trump wrong.
Golly, man, it is.
That's Trump, like a mental illness, man.
They need to study Trump derangement syndrome. I'm not even joking about it.
I know.
Like, this is seriously a problem.
You know, and as we talk about all the time with Trump, a lot of the things that he says, you just got to enjoy the ride. Because you're going to go on a ride. It's all part of the show.
Yeah.
I still think in our lifetime, he's the greatest president we've had because he's actually done what he said he's going to do. That other politicians would kind of talk about and never do it. And we've gone through that list many times, and he's America first. Okay, all that being said, yes, he's going to exaggerate. It's hyperbole, a lot of that with Trump, okay? But these people that have been so affected by it, watching it and watching media demonize him for the better part of 10 years. And a media that used to love him when he was on The Apprentice.
Oh, sure.
You know, now it's racist. And we all know what the media has done as far as Trump. And, yeah, it's driven some people, it seems to be, absolutely crazy. So, on top of that, you have a fake Trump piece of audio, which I think is going to be funny. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, well, there's this guy named Sean Farash. He does a pretty good Trump impression. And he re-upped a video he did a while back in light of the weird TikTok trend of liberal women who are pregnant downing Tylenol. He says, well, what if Trump endorsed breathing?
Well, it is my complete honor and privilege to make this endorsement. You know, I've got along with very well with oxygen. I call it air. Some people call it O2. I call it oxygen, air. It's a beautiful thing, but I'm endorsing breathing. We love to breathe. It's a tremendous practice, in and out. I went to the doctor, and my doctor looked at me. He said, sir, you have the most beautiful lungs. They're so big. They're so beautiful. They inflate. They deflate. They're wonderful. In and out. Nobody's ever seen lungs like this before, sir. So I said, now's a beautiful day to endorse oxygen. We love breathing, right? And you have these stupid people on the left, very stupid, very sick. These are very sick people. You're not a sick person, but they're very sick people. And they're going to hear me endorse it. Right? They're going to hear me say, oh, Donald Trump likes to breathe. You know who else breathed? Hitler. Hitler breathed. And they're going to hold their breath.
It's a good impression, right?
Dude, I think that might be the best I've ever heard. Outside of AI, that's really good. Wow. If you got more from that guy, please don't hold it. You got to share. All right. Some big news updates and the 5 stories we're watching today. Coming right up.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Quiet down. Here she comes.
Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins is out back next week. Now the 5 stories we're watching today.
1, 2. Here we go. Number 5, the White House Budget Office is telling federal agencies to prepare plans for permanent mass firings during a possible government shutdown. That shutdown right now being pushed by Democrat Party leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem the Dream Jeffries. It's like you are actually giving the Trump administration exactly what they want. I don't understand the strategy. It's like they're playing for a draft pick, man. It is crazy watching all of this go down.
It's the whole thing of if we could pin, shutting down the government on the other side, it's really going to help us politically.
Mm-hmm. It's not. No,
I know.
It's really not. Number 4, activists are now calling Turning Point USA's new speakers, like Megyn Kelly, Michael Knowles, etc., extremely dangerous to college campuses, warning that their presence threatens the safety of students.
How?
If I'm reading between the lines, it's because, well, the leftists will apparently have no choice but to enact violence.
Oh, got it.
But,
like at Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Dude. Did you see what happened there?
What happened?
Oh, it was a dude. I'll have the story coming up. Went there just to do a Charlie Kirk style sort of talk. Mm-hmm. It did not last very long.
Oh, wow.
He needed the cops to escort him out.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Number 3, GDP estimates for the second quarter of the year were revised up. The economy grew 3.8%, up about 0.5%. It's the strongest increase in about 2 years. Number 2, the gunman who opened fire at U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement at that facility in Dallas, well, yeah, he sought real terror for agents. He also searched apps that tracked the presence of ICE personnel. He wanted them to be looking over their shoulders everywhere they go.
Man, oh, man.
Yeah. But, he could be a right-winger. Just don't know.
Something else I'll have for you that I don't know if you've heard with ABC's coverage of this. As far as the shooter?
No.
Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty.
I've seen a few different news reports out there saying, well, people who lost contact with him a few years ago say he was never really political. Well,
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's the way they'll frame it.
And number 1, President Trump in the Oval Office today with the president of Turkey, who is corrupt and has, rigged elections, actually. At least that's the general consensus around the world. President Trump, he is a world-class crap talker, right?
Yes.
So here he is talking in the Oval Office right next to President Erdogan.
Okay.
Of Turkey.
Unfairly, as it turns out. Rigged election, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. But when I was...
Holy crap. See? And that's all part of the Trump show.
It sure is.
You're best just to kick back and enjoy the ride.
Erdogan's sitting there going, did they translate that right for me?
Like what? He said, you know something about this. Falsely accused. Sure, whatever that might be. I had mentioned this before. It's made its rounds online. Like a don't knock it until you try it situation in your life. Is there something that comes to mind?
Not right. I have to sit with that for a minute.
Okay, people mention stuff like frozen towels. You wet it, put it in the freezer, and then to cool yourself off. That is really good.
That sounds refreshing.
It is. Other people said Pilates, especially if you're over 50.
Have you tried it?
It's been a few years. It's just I'd rather work out other ways. Cold plunge, not fun while it's happening, but afterwards it's good. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Yeah, during the cold plunge, it's no fun.
Oh, it is. It's miserable. Yeah, sitting in the ice bath for a little bit.
Yeah. Afterward?
Yeah. You get the blood flowing again. You feel nice, reinvigorated.
Yeah. Is it a placebo? I don't know, but I do feel better. Yeah. So either way, you're doing pretty good with that. All right, biggest story of the day, David?
Biggest story of the day is, I think, still the aftermath and dealing with the aftermath of the ICE facility shooting that happened yesterday, as we're learning more details about the shooter who did want to terrorize ICE.
Absolutely. Yeah, and part of the ABC coverage. We got to get to that. Also, that story we were talking about from Tennessee State. It's pretty crazy. And a round of What's Your Story coming right up here. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. David Van Camp, the Millennial. The sexy boomer, Scott Robbins, resting up, getting ready for next week's return to the show. Looking forward to that. So I mentioned Tennessee State, a guy named Cam Higbee, and some of his friends. They're out there on the Fearless Tour. And sort of, I don't think anybody's trying to, quote, take the place of Charlie Kirk, but have the same type of conversations on college campuses.
Yeah. And saying that radical left gunmen are not going to dissuade outspoken conservatives from showing up and having conversations.
Yes. It takes guts to do what they're doing. And you see him set up with this table, and it starts off with a couple of decent conversations, but then there's more of a crowd that comes around. And holy smokes, all of a sudden they're getting shouted down, and now the police have to escort them out of there out of fear something really bad is going to happen. Yeah. I saw a number of clips on this. Guy, I've had clips on this show before from Jeffrey Mead, who is a young black conservative, just a real common sense person. He saw the video. He was disgusted by it. So he's showing what happened, and then he has his commentary. You know, and a part of it, I mean, you just couldn't play because of all the swearing.
Now let some black people go to a predominantly white institution and get treated like this, and you guys would be screaming and crying about racism.
Yeah, because these two white guys are surrounded by black students yelling at them. Okay.
White supremacist this, white supremacist that. This was egregious. This was pathetic. Look at how the students at this school treated these guys' security guard.
Yeah, I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of rabid animals. It's what it seems like. All because these gentlemen wanted to come on campus and have open debates. And aren't colleges supposed to be the place where intellectuals exchange ideas? All of this because they came and set up on campus to have open debates. By the way, I'm going to say it right now. This university is a joke. Look at what the university said. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. This is where it's crazy. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, and they started.
You know, we can see the videos, right? This genuinely made me think, if they're willing to lie like that to our faces after we can see the video, how do we know they're not lying about who actually graduated, who actually passed the classes? If they're going to lie like this, for all we know, they could just be handing people degrees. This is pathetic. But notice, all those so-called black leaders, you're not seeing them come out and condemn this pitiful behavior. Our standards are at the bottom of the barrel. And so many of us just seem to be okay with that. Black excellence this, black excellence that. And then they look at this and they don't say anything. I don't think there's any other word other than pathetic. Well, I don't know if there's any nicer words other than pathetic. And this is one reason why the black community struggles. We do not have standards. You do not see black leaders coming out aggressively and condemning this. You have a problem with accountability, and our standards are at the bottom of the barrel. Again, it's pathetic. Oh, and Tennessee State is a joke.
There you go.
Well, I mean, it's also kind of funny because one of the clips that Cam has put out there is a security personnel. I think it's somebody they hired who's getting harassed, and he's black. He's a black man.
Yeah.
He's getting harassed as they're kicking him off of campus. It's just crazy to me, man.
It is, man. So that's out there. Oh, the other thing I told you I'd play from ABC News this morning, part of their coverage of the nut job shooter in Dallas at the ICE facility, when they get to talking about the shooter.
According to his friends, the alleged gunman was not overly political and was mainly interested in video games and internet culture. This attack comes on the heels of a bomb threat on the same facility just last month.
Video game culture, David.
It's video game culture, right? That's all. That now listen, I mean, if that's a euphemism for, what the kids would call edgelord behavior, which I did read one story that he was basically this is where online you just try to get a rise out of people and you say some horrendous things just to be edgy.
Yeah.
And for no other reason than to just get a rise out of people. And somebody had said, we lost contact a few years ago because he started letting that creep into his everyday life. And so I can understand that. But then it's like, well, not overly political, except now the FBI's out there going, no. He was tracking ICE agents. He was trying to do research on how to most effectively find and kill members of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Not overly political, though. Please.
And totally from the left.
Yeah.
Won't say it.
There was one story I read.
So dishonest.
There was one story I read where they said, well, as a young man, he was interested in Ron Paul. Okay. I grew up in Texas. So I'm speaking from a place of authority. You cannot throw a stone in a crowd of men in Texas who at one point in their teenage years was interested, or not hit somebody who was interested in the sayings and teachings of Ron Paul. Okay, he was, even for young guys. When I was in high school, he was kind of an icon for some people.
Sure,
like that. Yeah. That's not an uncommon thing. Oh, so he's libertarian. You see, there you go.
No, it's trying to find anything. Can we have anything from his past that would lead him in a direction that wouldn't be far left? Yes. He had a Kid Rock record when he was 12. Okay, so he can't be on the left. All right, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Here's a picture of him with Bud Light. Oh no, he is one of ours.
By the way, I gotta play you this too. You just tell me if you find this funny or not, or maybe it's just me reading too much into it. The way the story ends with ABC and the ICE facility and going into the next story is comical to me in a sad way.
All of this coming amid a new poll that was released asking Americans, do you feel like the violence in this country is happening because of how people talk about politics? 82% said yes. George?
Such a tense time. Okay, Maria, thanks very much. We're getting the latest now on President Trump's retribution campaign against his political opponents.
Oh, yeah, that is such a scary time.
Just so you know, that is not doctored. I'm watching this in real time going, how do you people just clown yourselves constantly?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Okay, moving on. An attorney general candidate claims Trump is one dehumanizing ICE agent?
Yes, this is
what?
Texas State Senator Nathan Johnson, Democrat running to be the state's attorney general, and on CNN, he blamed Trump for the attacks against ICE, including the one that happened in Dallas yesterday.
Okay.
Nothing justifies this homicidal attitude towards ICE. Nothing justifies pulling a trigger. But I do think that we have a problem when we take our law enforcement and dehumanize them and turn them into instruments of fear, because law enforcement must have a positive relationship with the community in order to be effective. And when we have ICE being directed to behave as they are, I think we undermine public safety.
So when we ask them to do their jobs, that's when the rubber meets the road, see?
Right.
So what we're supposed to do is go back to like the summer of love, when everyone just breaks the law constantly and nothing's done.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
that's not what the people want.
Not going to happen. And if you want a positive relationship, talk to your colleagues in the Democrat Party in sanctuary cities.
Yes.
Did you want to know why ICE is out on the streets? Tom Homan said it I don't know how many times.
Yep.
They're out on the streets right now because if they're in the jails, the city won't hand them over.
Right. And if they would just cooperate, it'd be a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
But you're forcing us into the community, and that makes it a lot more dangerous for everyone involved.
Yes.
This is not difficult to figure out, and if you think they're just going away, you're sadly mistaken. They're not. All right, it's that time. Do it a couple of times today. Go around the table. It may not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention. David, today, what's your story?
In the interest of time, I'll keep mine short. There is a self-described radical leftist bookstore co-op in New York, and it is closing by the end of the year. They weren't making any money. In fact, they're drowning in debt. And people who live nearby hate the store, and they're glad to see it go because the store encouraged drug addicts to use the place as an injection site. It was a safe injection site. They had Narcan there. And so you got it's zombie land around the bookstore.
Okay.
It's just an eyesore. And some of the reactions, though, from people who worked there or liked the store, some people wrote some really insane things because apparently closing down a non-functional bookstore is racist and it's violent.
What?
Yeah, some of the reactions here, I just picked out a few of my favorite lines. The legal owners flexed their violent legal force by making this decision.
What?
Another person writes, this decision was not made with any of the three brown folks, spelled Folx, currently stewarding the space. Another person says, this was an extremely violent move. My favorite.
Violent by saying we can't do this anymore?
Yes.
You're not paying.
Yes.
That's violent?
Yes. My favorite one. My collective of in-store workers, all melanated POC, did not make this decision.
Dude, is this a parody?
No, it's not. This is very real. The white folks on the lease made this decision without us. Hold those folks accountable. This is white violence.
Oh my God!
I think I read their rent for the whole space is like $10,000 a month.
Okay.
And they just can't make ends meet when their most popular item is Narcan that they give away.
That's unreal. And again, it's white violence to say you have to pay.
Yeah.
For the landlord. This is the way it works. I mean, my goodness, dude. I want to see this become a national story. I really do. That would be incredible. For my story, I see the stat, and I'm not saying that people are liars, but they have to be. 96% of American drivers admit to driving aggressively. Okay, I think all of us at least have one person in our life that is safety first, hands 10 and 2. And I mean, we're always like, could you speed it up a little bit? But according to this, 96% admit to performing at least one aggressive driving behavior in the last year. And you're like, driving behavior, what does that mean? That means running red lights. Okay. Now, does that mean that thing's pretty yellow? Then when I got to the middle of the intersection, it went red? Or you just knew it was red and you just boom through?
Because that's not aggressive. That's breaking the law.
Yes. Speeding.
Yeah.
Tailgating. I hate it. Yeah. Honking. Honking's aggressive?
Depends on the circumstance. I mean, if the light just turned green and it's like 3 seconds and the person ahead of you hasn't gone and you lean on the horn, like you're just, that's aggressive. But if you just give a little courtesy tap, just beep, that's not aggressive.
Well, not only that, say you're in the left lane and someone in the right lane is starting to merge over.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's like if something doesn't happen, like if I stop, the person behind me is going to rear end me. Mm-hmm. I got to hit the horn to let them know.
Yeah.
Hey, and then they'll look, oh, sorry. Also, cutting off other vehicles, yeah, that sort of thing. So I think that explains it a little bit. But 96% of American drivers aggressive. I don't know, man. There's a lot of old people out there on the road. And I'm not saying every old person's a terrible driver. I'm just going analytics here.
Yeah.
Here to bring truth. Huh? Come on. All right. Got to get to another news update. David has a very funny piece of audio and Nimrod's in the news in just a few.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out back next week, but still here. He loves talking football.
Football season is back on Prize Picks. Every day we make choices, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So kick off the season right by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use the code MVCR on the Prize Picks app. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Plus, the app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. With simple stats and user-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code MVCR. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
All right, David. Someone said, let your rage fuel you?
Yes, in case you're wondering why some people are worried about Democrat rhetoric. This is Abigail Spanberger, Democrat running to be the next governor of Virginia. She's sharing a message of love and hope to her supporters.
Okay.
Let your rage fuel you. Every time we hear a new story, we let it fuel us. Every time we turn on the news, we let it fuel us. Every time something bad is happening, we say, oh, that's motivation.
She literally went the Emperor from Star Wars. Good, let the hate flow through you. Oh, my gosh.
Read the freaking room. Now we go to Nimrod. That's crazy.
When the going gets tough. Damn it, this is too hard. The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrod's in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
And they don't know every time they turn on the news, it's lying to them.
Yeah.
Golly. Nimrod's in the News. Here we go. We go to Florida. 28-year-old guy. Yes, it's his real name, Juan Leon. Juan was arrested after he was caught doing a burnout at a red light. Well, that's no big deal, right? Except he had been drinking. And they noticed. The cops did notice. The best part of the story to me, he didn't do the burnout because he was hammered or wanted to get somewhere. Told police he was trying to impress the ladies.
Well,
are ladies impressed by that? Never seemed to work when I was, I guess, and that's Nimrod. It's in the news.
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out, back next week. News update, David Van Camp.
Well, the president was asked about the latest instance of left-wing violence, the shooting in Dallas, which, by the way, yes, the suspect showed extensive pre-attack planning, researched apps to track ICE agents, researched ballistics, and also looked at the Charlie Kirk shot video just a couple days ago. Looked at it repeatedly, downloaded a DHS facility list, and then there were notes that it indicated intent to terrorize ICE agents, saying, quote, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with, I believe, armor-piercing rounds on that roof?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Groiper, obviously, you know.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
All right. So the president was asked about this, and, again, we've seen multiple instances of left-wing violence in the last couple of weeks, and really the last several months and even years, but it's been obviously a much more fraught 2-week period. And so here's the president talking about it.
Okay.
They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem. Not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left, and we don't want that.
That's going to be a big story.
Oh, yeah. The freakout's going to be on that. Oh, he's sending dog whistles to his base to commit acts of violence. And no, I think he's telling the truth. And, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. Like, people are only going to be pushed so far with this nonsense. This is why it's like, okay, now it's time to back off the Gestapo talk. Now it's time to stop, like Abigail Spanberger in Virginia going out and saying, let your rage fuel you. I mean, you had people on MSNBC saying it's actually your legal obligation to fight ICE. Okay, now's the time to really back off of that. Because, and I'm saying this, it's not like to flex or anything, but a lot of people who are on the right own a lot of the guns in this country. And
it gets talked about a lot.
I don't want anything to happen. I desperately don't. Because, one, I don't want to live through it. And I've got an almost 6-year-old and a 4-year-old kid. I don't want them to grow up in a world dominated by political violence. Cut it out, Democrats. Stop. I'm begging you at this point.
I know. I was asking a few people today, like, because we're close to it. We're in the news cycle every day. Mm-hmm. So for some people that certainly are plugged in to know what's going on, but not to the extent that we would be, right? My question was, do you feel like we're sitting on a powder keg? And depending, a lot of people said it does kind of feel that way. And no, nobody wants to see it happen. What I just heard there, I might have heard it different than other people. That's almost like dad saying to the little brother, hey, listen, you keep poking and you keep poking and you keep poking. You're not going to like it if it's coming back to you in kind.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good for you. Knock it off.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to get knocked off.
I think they're in too deep now. And it's a really sad thing to see. I mean, when it's all the projection and just straight up gaslighting. Well, this guy, the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, we don't really know what motivated him.
No, that's just dishonest.
And I think you can see, though, that there are a lot of people on the right who have exercised an extraordinary amount of restraint and common sense and decency after the murder of Charlie Kirk, especially because what happened? You had prayer vigils breaking out.
Yes.
You had a massive memorial service where the gospel was preached to millions of people all at once.
And where
Didn't burn down cities.
Forgave the shooter.
Did not lash out.
Said the answer is not hate.
Yeah.
It's love. You had plenty of conservatives saying the answer to this is not to return violence.
Yes.
You have that. But at the same time, then, well, let's just get to this clip now. You got Gavin Newsom, who's one of the leading contenders to be the Democratic nominee in 2028. He goes on Stephen Colbert's show talking about ICE, and what does he say?
Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud.
What is he talking about? I mean, I know what he means, but in the black community, they're going to come and they're going to take you away. Come on, man.
I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking, also to require you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government.
They're going after criminals. Yeah. That's what it is. And you're partly responsible with the rhetoric.
Yeah.
And again, if you missed the clip earlier, and that's why J.D. Vance, addressed him in particular. Yeah. And then in the end, said this.
If your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Yeah, people are tired, man. Tired of just them saying fascist, Hitler wannabe or Hitler, Gestapo, all of that stuff.
And
yeah.
To me,
and you know what, man? It goes beyond that, too. A lot of times you're looking at fringe groups with the rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Freaking Hillary Clinton, what did she do? Yeah, we got to tone it down. It's mostly on the right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you heard the other part of what she said. You know what the problem is? It's the white Christian, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is about.
That we have always been a work in progress. You know, we haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, for hundreds of years that, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them.
Yeah, I remember when the Democrats wanted to keep the slaves. That was terrible, Hillary.
So
yes.
I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, it's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way. But I agree with you. We were on the right trajectory.
And what happened? For all the people that you forgot about, there was a guy saying, we can bring these jobs back. We can make your life better again. And it had nothing to do with race. In the beginning, it had to do with jobs and closing the border and having pride in the United States and not being a globalist. Is that so wrong?
Apparently so, yes.
It's not.
No, of course it's not.
Gosh. Another clip was making the rounds too, David, and I know they were laughing at it at the time. This wasn't that long ago. It was, Wrinkle Biscuit Hour on The View. You got Jane Fonda in there, Lily Tomlin, way past, whatever, and talking about taking away women's rights. And then the word murder actually gets thrown out there. Do you remember this?
I do remember that, yes.
And, I'll try to paint the picture because you can't see them all.
Being able to determine when and how many children to have. We know what that feels like. We know what that's done for our lives. We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are. We're not going back.
Determine how many kids you have. When did that ever happen? This isn't China, you dope.
Yeah.
Women will rise up.
That's the activist.
That's Jane
Speaking, and she probably will get a Nobel Prize.
But it's the truth.
Very soon.
It is the truth. We're not going to do it.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a miraculous. What did you say?
Murder.
She's kidding. Wait a second. She's just kidding.
Don't say that. That's
you don't know. They'll pick up on that and just run with it.
The worst.
She's just kidding.
Well, let me talk to you about.
Okay, they're laughing because the camera goes to her and she looks like, I'm not joking. And they're like, oh, she's kidding. She's kidding. She was not kidding. Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about Jane's activism, which is legendary.
Wow.
No one was actually going to say, hey, we can't say murder. I know you, even if you mean that as a joke, we're not saying that. They weren't going to do that. No, there's got to be some change, man. It's something, isn't it?
Remember the freak out when Ted Nugent said, what was it? Obama can suck on my AR or something like that?
Yes.
And it was like, he's calling the assassination of Obama.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. They didn't realize that was just Ted's sense of humor.
That's what Ted Nugent does. He says outrageous things. But in this case, it was actually an explicit call for murder from James.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, very much so. Oh, man, there's another story we got to get to that had to do with the Biden housing bailout. Have you heard anything about this?
No.
This is one of those stories that seems to have been buried. Daily Wire broke it. During COVID, there was money for poor people to help them with housing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're poor and white.
Well, naturally, yes.
Sorry, not going to be able to help you with that one. And then there's a thing going around online, who had the best flirting advice? Boomers, Zoomers, Millennials, or Gen X? That just makes you laugh.
It can't be Zoomers, right? Because they don't know how to make eye contact. So
maybe we'll hang on to this one until Robbins is back next week. Oh, man, do we like to give him the business on stuff like that? If I said kiddo and he was here, he would get really mad.
He was
yeah, that's
a younger lady, yeah.
All right, the 5 stories we're watching today, much more straight ahead.
Football season is heating up on Prize Picks. You know, you and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So keep the season rolling by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. The Prize Picks app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. Prize Picks offers up to 2,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is also available in 40-plus states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. All transactions are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code MVCR and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
All right, then. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins is out and back next week. And now, the 5 stories we're watching today.
All right, number 5, the White House Budget Office is telling federal agencies, hey, get ready. We're going to do permanent mass firings if there is, in fact, a government shutdown, which is what Democrat leaders are aiming for right now. They're giving sort of this sky-high list of demands, of priorities that they want, and they're saying, well, we'll shut the government down if you don't do this. Okay, well, the Trump administration...
You know what happens after that?
Fired, yeah, they're going to make lemonade out of those lemons. I'm telling you. Yeah, so you better play ball here, but oh well. Number
David,
4,
you're fired.
Hey, I don't even work for you.
I think he was just joking. Man. Dang. That was out of nowhere.
That was just mean. All right, number 4, activists are calling Turning Point USA's new speakers extremely dangerous to college campuses, warning that their presence threatens the safety of students. Okay.
In other words, they threaten to see through all of our lies and tell the kids the truth.
Right.
We don't want that here.
And if they show up, we'll have no choice but to hurt them.
Who was it, man? I want to give him credit. Dude, one of the commentators said, if you just remember, every time you hear a Democrat say threat to democracy, it means they're threatening our political power as Democrats.
Yes.
Just think of that every time, because that's what it is every single time.
Yeah, it is. Number 3, some good news here. GDP estimates for the second quarter of this year were revised up. The economy grew about 3.8%, up about 0.5% from the original estimate. This is the strongest increase in about 2 years. Number 2, the gunman who opened fire at that ICE facility in Dallas. Apparently they have found documentation that, yes, he sought to terrorize agents, and also searched apps that tracked the presence of ICE personnel as well. And then number 1, President Trump told reporters today that the radical left needs to be careful because at some point this violent streak is going to come back on them. That is going to be the freak out. I'd be surprised, pleasantly so, if media did not really touch that or actually had responsible conversations about what he meant, because he said, I don't want it. Just cut it out.
I'll bet you anything, that part will get edited out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So we'll see when we check in the Today Show tomorrow and Good Morning America or the evening news shows from legacy media. But I'll bet you anything, that part they clip out. Mm-hmm. Yes. And those are the 5 stories.
We love David.
Thank you.
I think you wanted to make that up to you.
Apology accepted, Mr. President.
You know, every once in a while, you see something that's going on today that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be a big deal. It may not. Every day's got something. Like it's National Lobster Day. Okay. Guess you won't surf and turf, maybe?
All right, yeah. We'll have a shell of a time.
Well, why not? It's National Comic Book Day. Means nothing to me, but for fans of comic books, okay. And then I see it's National Daughters Day.
Huh.
And here's the thing. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no.
Okay. Well, your daughter's young enough, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? My 2 daughters. On social media, crap's going to get shared all over the place. You know how this works.
Yeah.
And now, if I don't recognize it somehow, well, I guess my dad didn't care. No, I would not have known unless I just saw that. So I'm saying this is a public service to dads. Hey, if you don't want to be in that boat, recognize it. And if nothing else, you send the text.
Yeah.
Say, just thinking of you today on National Daughters Day, I couldn't be more proud. Oh, yeah.
About my gift was 18 years of you living in my house rent-free.
Well, and sometimes it goes beyond that,
Yeah,
David.
right.
Like my brother said, if you think it stops at 18, you're crazy. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robin Show. All right, biggest story of the day?
All right, I love my kids, but a special day every day is a special day for them. Now I sound like my grandpa.
Well, yes, exactly.
Why is there, snot-nosed little kid, why isn't there ever a kid's day? That's every day, you little twerp.
No kidding.
You have no idea how good you have it.
No, you really don't.
And that's okay.
Dude, I got to tell you this real quick. So my son, David knows this, and real quick to paint the picture, he's a big, strong kid, and he would go through bulking seasons. It would cost us so much in food.
Yeah.
So now, it's for the first time this fall, he's responsible for all his food. Oh, he is lean and trim and mean, boy. A couple of news updates and more straight ahead. All right, the Markley, Van Camp, and Robin Show. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. David Van Camp's the Millennial. The sexy boomer is Scott Robbins. I got a text from Scott. It is confirmed that he will be back on Monday. Had his doctor's appointment. Everything is cleared, and he'll be ready to go.
Yes! All right, man.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
He'll be able to really break in that new heart valve.
No kidding. Get his hot takes on all this stuff. Yeah, you ought to save a clip like this that you're about to play for Monday.
I'll make a little montage of the most ridiculous things that we played while he was out. So, of course, we know a gunman opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas yesterday and wound up killing a detainee and wounding others. And CNN's Abby Phillip wanted to know why Vice President J.D. Vance would go out and tell Democrats to stop being insane. And there was also an insane meltdown in this clip from Bakari Sellers after conservative commentator Ben Ferguson tried to make his point.
Okay.
How does it help to have the vice president say that?
Because the third one in Texas. This is the third attack
What
we've
do you
seen
mean?
in Texas, in the same district as the man in charge today was saying. Like, this is the second time he's had to have a press conference today.
Who was killed today? Who was killed today?
So you're saying since it
That's
wasn't...
not what I'm at. No.
So you're saying since it wasn't... It was innocent people that were killed today.
Don't put words in my mouth.
You asked a question. I'm answering your question. You're saying since it wasn't ICE agents that were killed, that therefore this is a null and void conversation?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Are you kidding me?
That's gaslighting.
Oh, my God.
You're gaslighting me by predicting accurately what I was about to say.
Yes. Yeah, if you want to cut to the chase, yeah. The only reason ICE agents weren't killed is because, what, the guy was a bad shot?
Right, or he was just firing randomly into where he thought ICE people may be.
Right. What a dope.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, when you watch that entire panel, I don't know how the conservative people hang in there.
Well, I don't know how the audience does, because that clip goes on for like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was
have you seen the ratings for that show?
Uh-uh.
Freaking tank.
Yeah. Well, it's...
The only views it gets is on X.
Yeah. I mean, just setting aside political ideology for a moment. When you have, 5 people yelling over one another all the time, it's unwatchable, dude. And it's certainly unlistenable, because there are a lot of clips that make the rounds on social media from that particular show with Abby Phillip. And it's almost to the point where I don't want to watch them, and because this is an audio format show, it's like there's no point in actually bringing it all in, because you can't tell who's who.
Right. I mean, usually if they let Scott Jennings have his moments, that a lot of times is worth playing. But he's got to fight for his moments, too. It's crazy. Did you see where Apple has paused its new show about domestic terrorism?
I did see that, yeah.
And it's so predictable. So Apple TV was going to release a new show Friday called The Savant, starring Jessica Chastain as an investigator who profiles and identifies would-be domestic terrorists, an attempt to stop them before they commit violent crimes. But because of everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, they decided we'll release that later. So Variety magazine does a story on this.
Yeah.
And, okay. First of all, this show is exactly what you think it would be. Jessica Chastain plays Jody Goodwin, a top-secret investigator who has an employee of the fictional Anti-Hate Alliance.
I didn't realize her fictional name was Goodwin. That is so hackney, dude.
Yeah.
Because good wins.
Of course. Infiltrates online hate groups in an effort to stop large-scale attacks of domestic terrorism. Okay. What kind of terrorism are we talking about here? Well, it's white supremacists.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is it? She works closely with enforcement agencies on sites like Reddit, 4chan, 8chan. The new white supremacists and misogynists hatch conspiracy theories that take off on X and make it on fake news sites like InfoWars and even occasionally Fox News. They serve up constant peer pressure to do something criminal. That's in the story of this show.
Yeah.
Now, check this. The writer from Variety then says, having watched the 8-episode series for review, which was set to be under embargo until September 25th, it's clear that The Savant is precisely the type of show America needs right now.
Is it?
Yes. It looks at a sector of mostly white male individuals who believe that America belongs to them. Fueled by hate, bigotry, xenophobia, and misogyny, they talk cruelly and candidly online about enacting harm and violence toward individuals or others who they feel are unworthy of being in, quote, their country. Holy crap, that's exactly what we need right now.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, I watched the trailer of it because I wanted to see, like, okay, how silly is this really going to be? And it is just, it's like a dayside booking producer for MSNBC came up with this premise, and it is so overwrought, and it's become a meme now because there's one particular still where Jessica Chastain is looking. She's got the large, oversized, thick frame glasses, and she's looking at the computer monitor very intently, going, "Oh my God, the white supremacists are gathering for a massive attack," and then she shows up in one of their militia camps or something, and she's like, "How do you do, fellow white supremacists?" Like, it is the most unrealistic girl boss fantasy that someone could come up with, and I just had to laugh. But yeah, the photo of her looking intently at the screen has become a massive meme on X.
Hilarious. Dude, I didn't see this part of the piece. I gotta read this real quick. Jessica Chastain, of course, doesn't like the fact that it's not going to be shown, that it's being paused for a while. This is apparently what she said. And feel free to comment as I go through this, David.
Okay.
In the last 5 years since we've been making the show, we've seen an unfortunate amount of violence in the United States. The kidnapping attempt on Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Which was organized by the feds, man.
But nobody knows it because all these people watch the same synchronized media. They don't know the story. The January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Okay.
The assassination attempts on President Trump, the political assassinations of Democratic representatives in Minnesota.
Yeah, by a nut job who thought that he was secretly trained by the Army and was getting orders from Tim Walz to take out political opponents on his own side.
Which nobody on that side knows.
No.
The attack on Speaker Pelosi's husband.
Which was not a political attack.
I know.
It was a homeless junkie.
I know. It goes on from there. So, yeah, that's not going to be they're going to pause it for a while.
Yeah. Obviously, the right-wing violence is what we have to worry about. Give me a freaking break.
Always. Man, can I do this story quick? I'm going to do my best so we can get to what's your story. So I mentioned this. The Biden housing bailout. Daily Wire. Luke Rosiak breaks a lot of stories for them.
Yeah.
He's good. Basically, the $10 billion coronavirus-era housing bailout that paid Americans mortgages and even their HOA dues. You know, that time they had all this funding.
Yeah.
40% of the funds went to black Americans due to the program, including explicit racial preferences. They're just finding out about this now. And now some white residents are suing their states, saying the government illegally withheld assistance from them based on their race. A part of it, like in Alabama, 85% of the funds went to black residents. In Georgia, it was 82%. Wow. Surprising because, well, just on the fact that half the money was supposed to be doled out based on income, you should have seen more people of other races. Only about half of Georgians below the median income are black. Plaintiffs in lawsuits say it's because Georgia deliberately ensured that white people didn't even know it existed. The state's plan included texting residents to inform them about this opportunity for $50,000, but only residents of counties with high minority populations. You can't do that.
Yeah.
No one will be reporting on that
outside
of conservative media, but man, is that freaking interesting. All right, and now it's time to do something we do a couple of times a day. Go around the table. It may not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention. David, today, what's your story?
You may have seen the video making the rounds. This is a crazy story. A jewelry store heist in the San Francisco Bay Area, or on the outskirts of it, earlier this week. So this is in San Ramon. 24 people swarmed into the store, sort of an outdoor mall setting, and started smashing the display cases and just made off with like $1 million worth of jewelry. Here's Lieutenant Mike Pisteo from the police department.
Okay.
So when they went in, they basically took over the store, the crowbars and the pickaxes, and basically taking whatever jewelry was available. This is not their first time doing something like this. Definitely a well-orchestrated event that requires a lot of investigation on the back end.
And at least 3 of them had guns drawn. And there was one moment where, even though they did obviously plan this, I don't think they really scoped out the place well. Because of a previous smash and grab at that exact same store, they had a new security system where a security guard had to buzz you in, basically. So so once you're in the store, if you want to leave the store, the doors are locked. You gotta get the security officer to buzz you out. So they start trying to leave the doors, and it's locked. And so then they fired at least one shot through to break the glass. They got out. So they all got away initially. 7, though, have been arrested since.
Okay.
They're still looking for the others. And Gavin Newsom is flying all around the country to talk about immigration enforcement.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. For my story, I've been laughed at for years by my 2 buddies here, David and Scott, and many others, when I say squirrels are, in fact, evil.
Okay.
They're menacing. They can be. You never can quite trust them. Sure, they look all cute, but this part of what they're trying to lure you in.
Yes, right.
As I see ABC News headline, first words, almost killed me. Squirrel attacking residents in California town, sending at least 2 to hospital.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, see? It happens. Of course, the writer of this story had to open saying a California squirrel has gone nuts.
Oh.
Yeah, see? And neighbors in one town are on the alert. San Rafael. have reported a series of attacks from a vicious brown squirrel that sent at least 2 people to the emergency room, according to the local Humane Society. Now, I'm just going to say it. I know we're trying to tone down the rhetoric. That squirrel needs to be taken out.
Yes.
Okay. There's no rehabilitation when it comes to one of these menaces.
No, we gotta have a talk to the writer who made the nut joke as well, because I'm sorry, but that's just a corny joke.
I was bracing for Roger Daltrey there for a second. Here's some audio of the story.
Clomped onto my leg, and it was just hanging on. His tail was flying up here, you know, and I was like, get off me, and I kind of didn't want to touch it.
The squirrel went to the floor, and from the floor tried to jump to my face.
Oh, yeah, it's just attacking like insane. That's the thing, man. You just don't know when one of these things is going to get radicalized.
It's true. There are radicalized squirrels out there, yeah.
I got to admit, the one part of the story that is funny.
Get off me, and I...
Like he was going to listen. Story out of San Antonio you got to hear, and Nimrods of the News coming up.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All right, the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins will be back next week. You know, you don't need to let all your photos sit on your phone. You can put them to good use with Aura Frames. It's Wirecutter's #1 digital frame, and for good reason. It's easy to set up, and they have different frame options. And the best part is it comes with unlimited storage. All you need is the free Aura app and a Wi-Fi connection, and you can upload as many photos and videos as you want year-round.
Yeah, I have family all over the place, so it is nice being able to keep everyone up to date with what my kids are doing with just the click of a button. Plus, I mean, I've mentioned before, I'm really, really protective of my kids' privacy. I don't want pictures of them on social media. So I love that Aura Frames lets me share these photos with family in a secure way without using it, without using social media, I mean. The quality of the display is great. The pictures look like actual prints. Aura Frames is the answer to every gifting moment. You can save on the perfect gift that keeps on giving by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame with code MVCR. That's AURA, auraframes.com, promo code MVCR. Support the station by mentioning Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so what happened in San Antonio?
Well, there was a massive vigil on campus for Charlie Kirk. And it was a scene of love, people singing hymns, people talking with one another. It was wonderful. Well, one guy has been arrested now, 19-year-old Zalen Dunbar, because he commented on a Facebook message feed for the San Antonio Young Republicans ahead of the planned vigil, saying this is a disgrace, and I can tell you right now, I'm going to make sure this won't be good nor comforting vigil. Y'all watch and see. Then he commented, I'm going to make this movie me and my truck. And when questioned, he replied, you'll see tomorrow, I just wouldn't advise trying to stop a Ford 250 diesel truck. Show y'all how much Charlie Kirk really means. So threatening to run people over in a very crowded setting.
Plow through 'em.
So the cops did a welfare check at his home after seeing the comments, and then he reportedly confessed to posting those things. He was arrested by UTSA police on terroristic threat charges and is still being held on a $40,000 bond.
When's the public caning?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. That crap needs to end, too.
Yeah.
Stiff punishment for that. Now we go to Nimrod.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrod's in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrod's in the News. I've had a few people close to me say, get a little uncomfortable when you bring up the public caning. It still goes on in places.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's a deterrent. It's not like it's a lifelong, injury you're giving somebody. And I say it's an order here in South Korea. This dude has been arrested for making nearly 60,000 false reports to, 911, to police in less than 2 years. Of over 58,000 calls, 51 were categorized as code 2 or above, meaning immediate attention. Everything else was just nonsense.
No.
It takes 60,000? Caning will cure that. That's Nimrod's in the News.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins home resting. He will be back on Monday. Toning down the rhetoric? Nope, not going to happen.
Oh, no, not at all. Democrats are in too deep now. But even after some nut job tried to murder ICE agents and wound up killing a detainee and shooting 2 others, apparently they're saying, well, we got to keep the heat on them. Democrat Senator Chris Murphy was on, and this guy he's a loon. He really is.
Yeah.
He was on Morning Joe. Willie Geist has the question for him.
Okay.
How important is it for leaders, especially at the very, very top of the government, to set the tone?
Listen, it should not matter whether the radicalization comes from the right or the left or, sort of the non-ideological deep dark recesses of the internet. This vice president has had a chance now since the assassination of Charlie Kirk to bring the country together to try to stamp out all sorts of violence, including political violence, and they refuse to do that. What they are trying to do is exploit these murders and these shootings in order to silence only dissent and political opposition on the left.
Okay, before he goes any further.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we heard violence isn't the answer. Don't return violence with violence.
Yeah.
From conservatives after Charlie Kirk.
Absolutely.
When Trump the other day at the memorial said, now Charlie's probably looking down, he's unhappy with me.
Yeah.
Saying, I hate my enemies. That's part of his sense of humor, and part of it is they tried to kill him.
Yeah.
They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to put him in jail. You would understand it. What he's talking about here, Murphy, is something completely different, man.
No, criticizing the way that ICE is rounding up people in this country in a deeply inhumane and immoral way is not an incitement to violence. There is a moment where you cross the line, but what they are trying to do is to destroy the ability for people who oppose their policies to legitimately engage in political debate, and we are not going to let them do that.
Debate. They're upholding the law. Elections have consequences.
Yes.
The American people voted for this.
Yes.
Now, what was the one part?
Moral way is not
inhumane or immoral way. According to who?
Yeah.
Very light on specifics.
Well, they're
per usual with someone from the left.
They're just trying to say, like, for example, there was a story that was out of the Chicago area where they said, well, there were roofers up there, and ICE kicked down the ladder and said, well, we're going to come get you. And then somebody jumped off the roof and hurt themselves while running away, and they were all legal residents and had paperwork to prove it. I'm like, okay, well, that automatically doesn't pass the smell test.
No,
because
makes no sense.
Why would they, why did they kick down the ladder then? I don't really understand that, because if you're trying to get someone off of a roof, the ladder is a pretty efficient way to do that. And if they had all the paperwork and everything, then what's the problem?
Why are you jumping off the roof?
Yeah. Why are you running?
It's a good question. Yeah, that's hard to believe. But no, I think that what that tells me is they're okay with ICE agents being attacked or shot at or killed.
Well, they're justifying it. Chris Murphy is justifying it by saying what they're doing is immoral. It is wrong. It is authoritarian in nature. And so that does justify violence against them.
We have laws, dummy.
Yeah.
And I know in your world, well, we kind of decide which ones we really want to go after. No, in a sane world, you have laws, and you have to uphold the laws. That's the way it worked. I mean, the guy wouldn't get elected anywhere other than where he's at. Pretty confident of that. Who was the politician from Virginia that said Charlie Kirk incited violence?
Yeah, this is a Democrat who's on the Loudoun County, Virginia Board of Supervisors, decided to weigh in on Charlie Kirk's assassination. Her name is Phyllis Randall. She's a therapist, by the way. I'm not...
These people are special, because I got one coming up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She starts out by saying, well, of course I didn't want to see Charlie Kirk die like that, but...
Okay, roll it.
At the same time, I don't feel the need to sugarcoat or ignore or gloss over some of the behavior that Mr. Kirk himself engaged in while he was living. A death, even a horrible death, does not automatically erase the harm a person did in his life.
What harm?
In my opinion, Charlie Kirk engaged in promoting political violence and division. It was couched in free speech, and indeed, it was free speech. But free speech can be damaging, free speech can be harmful, and free speech can even be dangerous. Mr. Kirk should not have been gunned down, and that we have an issue of guns in America. I also do not feel the need to sanitize Mr. Kirk, somebody who pressed against my community, pressed against many communities, and in my opinion, put many communities in increased danger.
Okay. You know what I love about all of that? No specifics.
Yeah.
Just statements that make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Engaged in political violence. How? Made these communities less safe. How?
Mm-hmm.
How?
They just make things up.
Because he debated your ideas? That's it? No one can debate your ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's not the way it works. And if your feelings got hurt, maybe you need tougher skin.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to me.
She's a therapist. I didn't want to see him die, but hey, actions have consequences.
Well, here's the thing about therapists, in my opinion. If you find a good therapist, they can really help you. It can be life-changing for good in your life.
Yes.
You find a bad one, it can derail you for years and maybe forever.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I mean, freaking loons in that business that, turn people against their families.
Yeah.
And, I mean, where that should never have happened. Anyway, I'll go down a rabbit hole there. Nate Friedman was going out to Harvard, and he's trying to say, Bosses want to come out and just get reaction from people just about Charlie Kirk. And you find out who this guy is that he's talking to.
It says, like, get everybody's opinion. So that's what I'm going to do, you know?
Charlie Kirk preached hate, but more than just hate, he had such a unique cruelty about him, especially when it came to black women and LGBTQ community. He said things like gay people should be stoned to death. He said that Michelle...
And by the way, just so you know, all this is going to get corrected. The guy's just letting him give, I guess, what would be his truth, which is a load of BS.
Yeah.
So bear with me on this.
He said that Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown, the justice, would never be where they are, but they're there because of affirmative action. It was so heinous what he said. And I think that it is truly, God has some sense of humor. When you're being asked about gun violence minutes before he was killed, and he answered, there will have to be some deaths in order to protect the Second Amendment. That is ironic. That literally he was saying that minutes before he was killed.
No. Okay, so then that's when Nate comes in and corrects everything this dope just said.
He was killed.
No, he wasn't. His final exchange was this. The audience member says, "Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Charlie Kirk responded, "Too many." The audience member then said, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Charlie Kirk, in his final words, said counting or not counting gang violence. Charlie also never said gay people should be stoned to death. Charlie was calling out a children's YouTuber for taking Bible verses out of context. Now, this guy I'm interviewing didn't care about the context, and neither did Stephen King when he posted he advocated stoning gays to death. Just saying. Went on to get 25 million views. Stephen King later apologized and deleted that post when he realized that he was wrong. However, it was too late because that lie clearly got around the world.
Yes, it did. We talked about that. So then the rest of the video is Nate then telling who this guy was he interviewed at Harvard.
Now, let me also just say how alarming it is that this person you're listening to was a mental health counselor to Harvard students for decades. Anthony Body, who got his master's degree from Harvard Divinity School, said that God has a sense of humor when referring to the moment that Charlie was murdered. What happened when a conservative student sought counseling from Anthony? There is a deep rot in our university system, and Harvard is the center of it.
Think of that, man. These are counselors and freaking clueless as to what's going on in the world. It is. You got to be very careful with that. I saw this. This is disturbing. More than half of the nation's liberal voters and 40% of Democrats believe that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was, quote, understandable.
See, man, that's the thing. It's not, you're not paranoid if you're like, hey, it seems like there's a lot of people out there who would be fine with it if I got killed.
Yeah.
That is really disturbing.
It really is, man. I mean, that's where we're at. And sometimes you do think it's just, a lot of fringe left-wing loons, and then you're looking around going, how many people?
Yeah.
You're not quite sure. This is just, a random thing. If you ever wear a hat or a T-shirt that says USA or something to do with the United States, there are times you'll notice people look at you, they'll look at the hat, and then they get a look on their face. And the conversation I'm having in my head is, am I just paranoid? Or are they, really like rolling their eyes going, ugh, one of those. I'm like, man, it's probably nothing. Until I see people on social media that actually say, and I saw this guy with a USA hat, and I knew immediately, bigot.
Yeah,
what does that say, man?
Yeah, well, It says there are a lot of broken people out there. I like to lean into it. I got a shirt from a dude I follow on X that and he's a very funny guy. He goes by Mandatory Fun Day. I think he's in the Army, but he just does funny videos. But he also makes and sells T-shirts. And there's one, and it's a picture of like a raccoon and an eagle. They're holding sparklers, and it says, "I put the tism in patriotism." And I love that shirt. I really do. There's also one that says, "I exist out of spite."
It's pretty good, too. I remind myself all the time, though, there are good people in the world. There are. You have to remember that. Did you hear the story of the 8-year-old from Rhode Island, Ryan Mulvaney, who spent his summer running 1 mile every day for 50 days to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation? I know if you're cynical, you're like, 1 mile, that's not that much. Well, the kid didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice story. You know, it's
So I was just watching a YouTuber who went to 50 states in 50 days, and I kind of got inspired. I said, I just thought of something. Can I run 50 miles in 50 days? It just was like a motivator. It grants life-changing wishes to children with critical illnesses. Really did feel good.
I thought that was really sweet.
That is sweet.
Yeah. I'm sure someone could ruin it in some way. Well, it's like a young Forrest Gump, who I bet took a bunch of Tylenol. Blah! Some nonsense, who knows? The 5 stories we're watching today, straight ahead.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins will be back on Monday. And now the 5 stories we're watching today.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, number 5. Let's see what we got here. GDP estimates for the second quarter of the year were revised upward. The economy actually grew 3.8%, which is up about 0.5% from the initial estimate. It's the strongest increase in about 2 years. Number 4, the White House.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. The White House Budget Office is telling federal agencies to prepare plans for permanent mass firings during a possible government shutdown. That shutdown being pushed by Democrat Party leaders like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Dial-Up Jeffries. He really does. He speaks like he's on a dial-up connection.
Well, David, I know that a government shutdown would affect many Americans.
Yeah. Fired! Yeah. Well, what they want is free health care for illegal aliens.
No.
COVID-era Affordable Care Act expansions. No.
No.
And they want more funding for NPR. Nope, sorry. That's done now. Bye.
No.
Let's see. Number 3, activists are now calling Turning Point USA's new speakers extremely dangerous to college campuses, warning that their presence threatens the safety of students. They are not going to let this go because they're sick in the head.
How does it in any way have to do with safety?
Well, probably because they're worried one of their own is going to take a shot at somebody.
Gee whiz.
Number 2, the gunman who opened fire at the ICE facility in Dallas, well, yes, he sought real terror for agents. That's what he had written, apparently. He wanted them to be looking over their shoulder, wondering if there was a sniper ready to take them out. He also searched those apps that track the presence of ICE personnel. And then number 1, President Trump told reporters today, look, the radical left needs to be careful because at some point this violent streak is going to come back on them. And I hope and pray sincerely that does not happen because it would get ugly.
We're all in
very
that boat. Yeah, I think we're all in that boat. And I can't wait to see how media handles what he said.
Yeah.
Threats and the part where he says, I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah.
Is going to get cut out of there. Look at different stories and you see trends. I have not heard of the yogurt trend called stretchy yogurt.
What?
I guess it became a big deal in China. Now it has shops on the East Coast and it's spreading. It's like the customized frozen yogurt trend of the early 2000s. It's got elasticity and a gummy texture. So you choose a stretchy yogurt that has the consistency of melted chocolate. But I'm not quite sure what creates the texture.
Huh.
The flavors include 5 vegetable, 5 grain, mango, and coconut. Nope, I'm good.
No.
I mean, you put some granola, some yogurt.
Yeah.
That can be okay for health reasons, but nah, I'm good. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. All right, biggest story today, David?
Biggest story of the day is the fallout from the attempted assassination of ICE agents in Dallas. As, again, you're still having legacy media saying, well, he had friends that he hadn't spoken to in a couple of years, but he said he was never really all that political. And, in fact, he if anything, he liked Ron Paul, because that's unheard of among young Texas men.
My goodness, man. Did you hear anything about the mom and her social media posts?
Oh, yeah, just they're lefties, all of them.
Yes. I mean, it's very clear to anyone paying attention. I mean, we can get into some of that if we have time. Plus, piece of audio that you got to hear and a news update coming right up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out, back on Monday. J.D. Vance was talking about Trump losing patience with Vladimir Putin. Everybody's wondering, where is this going to go next?
Yeah.
So after Trump was talking the other day, like, oh, boy, this thing's going to, if anything, get heightened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we're selling the weapons to Ukraine. What they do with them,
Well, I saw... I think it was in the Financial Times that there were concerns among European leaders that if let's say that Ukraine completely collapses, Russia takes over Kyiv, and it's ball game. They're worried that Trump's new rhetoric would put the blame on Europe. It's like, well, it's your backyard.
Wow.
I mean, that's kind of been our point the whole time. That's been Trump's point the whole time, is you got to be paying your fair share. It's your own defense.
Yes. Not always up to us. Here's JD.
I believe the president is growing incredibly impatient with the Russians right now because he doesn't feel like they're putting enough on the table to end the war. That's number one. Number two, the president has grown very confident that this war is bad for Russia. You hear me say this all the time. You hear the president say this all the time. The war is bad for Russia. It's bad for Ukraine. It's bad for America. He sees the economic numbers that are coming out of Eastern Europe. He sees the number of dead people, both Russians and Ukrainians, that are happening in that war. And the president is telling Vladimir Putin it is time to stop the killing. But look, if the Russians refuse to negotiate in good faith, I think it's going to be very, very bad for their country. That's what the president made clear. It's not a shift in position. It's an acknowledgement of the reality on the ground. We're going to keep on fighting for peace.
Okay. We'll see where all that goes.
Well, evidently also European leaders have told Russia that, and this is one of those sources say things, but the European nations have told them, yeah, downing actual fighter jets is on the table if you cross our airspace.
It should.
Yeah.
I know that could be an escalation, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you have to have boundaries.
Right. Get Google Maps, Russia. Dang.
There you go. There's going to be mass resignations if Jim Comey is indicted?
Yeah, we keep hearing like it may come down today, it may come down tomorrow, that Jim Comey, former FBI director, will be indicted for lying to Congress. And MSNBC's Joyce Vance, I think, gave us even more good news on accident, but this was good news to me, at least.
Really? I haven't heard this yet. All right, roll it.
I think if there is a move to indict Jim Comey, we will likely see resignations out of Alexandria and Richmond. We may see other forms of protest by career prosecutors. It's a unique moment, and I think that these people will rise to it.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Go ahead and quit. Fine.
Yes.
See you later.
You're telling us exactly who you are if you're aligned with Comey.
Yeah.
How many people in the United States do you think, David, know the whole story with the whole Russia hoax and Jim Comey's involvement?
I think it's basically limited to consumers of conservative media.
I tend to agree. I mean, if he didn't lie under oath, then McCabe did. One of them had to have. Well, I mean, and you get deep in the weeds with the whole story, but someone had to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Comey, at least in my opinion, has outed himself on that a few times.
Sure he has. Yeah, so this one would be under oath, I believe in 2020, when he was talking about leaking to some professor that he knew, he was laundering inside information through some professor who was then sending it out to places like the New York Times, Washington Post, etc., and he lied about that contact. And so that's what they're going after. I mean, they're just kind of going after him for whatever they can right now. Mm-hmm. And if you want to say that's political retribution, well, look what that guy put the country through. I think, yeah, you gotta, if you're gonna lock up Steve
they knew
Bannon,
those reports were bogus.
Yeah,
they knew it was bogus, and they just kept going, hoping to find something else.
I mean, if you're gonna lock up Peter Navarro or Steve Bannon and all that stuff, you can't expect it to not come back.
Yes, but of course the way, like a Good Morning America, ABC, and Little George treated,
President Trump's retribution campaign. Sources tell ABC News his new hand-picked U.S. attorney plans to seek an indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, despite other prosecutors finding there's not enough evidence to charge him with a crime, as the president demands federal prosecutors go after his political opponents.
But they never really explain for what.
No, they don't.
Like, they just think it's just made up whole cloth, and it's really
just
not.
Good old Jim Comey, just a good guy, and he loves his seashells. Give me a break. And he loves his Taylor Swift, too.
Yes.
What a weird dude.
He is a weird guy.
Now, the ICE shooter from yesterday, there wasn't a whole lot talked about, in legacy media, what they knew about him. Well, people close to him says he really wasn't political.
Yeah.
They talked to his brother, said didn't think he was politically interested, described him as unique.
Yeah.
When that's your brother, he's unique. He's a nut job. Let's face it. He said he didn't have strong feelings about ICE as far as I knew, which means don't be looking my way.
Right. I didn't know he was going to do this. I didn't know he was a terrorist in training.
And I didn't know he'd write anti-ice on the bullet. He's never very creative.
Yeah, that's not the sign of a creative person.
No. Anyway, he also said he would not be able to make any shots like that. He's no marksman, that's for sure.
Well, it kind of seems like he just was pointing and shooting towards the building and then saw people in the what's called a sally port in a van and just started shooting in the general direction of a van. I mean, it didn't look like he was trying to aim at anything.
Yeah. The mother previously ranted on social media against Republican lawmakers in Texas for supporting the Second Amendment. Did you hear any of those ramblings?
Yeah, and it was their gun that he used.
Yeah. Yep. Was it, do you secretly sit in front of a TV and smile a demented smile? You must be proud of all the money that sits in your bank accounts from the gun lobby support. Was it worth it, Governor Abbott? How about you, senators? Here's my hope. May you be reminded of the deaths every time you spend that precious blood money you have received from the gun lobby. That's a little unhinged.
Yeah, very.
But no idea about the politics.
Not political in nature, no. Probably MAGA when it comes down to it.
Sounds very MAGA. Oh, yeah, the other one on Trump's political opponents, the update, we didn't have a chance to get to it yesterday. John Bolton, his office was raided.
Yeah.
Those classified documents were related to weapons of mass destruction.
Oh.
And strategic communications.
Huh. Did they finally find them?
It doesn't seem like that was just about nothing.
No, I don't think so. Well, and remember, that was an investigation started under the Biden administration, and then for political reasons, they ended it.
Yes.
So
they did, because he was going to include this stuff in his book.
Yeah. You know, I saw this story. The FBI just put this out. Special agents and officers with FBI's Boston Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force arrested a guy named Javon Tooley. Now, he is a Boston-based activist who is very close with the mayor of Boston. He's a Democrat activist, and he is the founder and CEO of a Boston-based nonprofit that supposedly provides community reentry support services for alleged drug trafficking, for criminals, and he's been arrested for drug trafficking.
Really?
Yeah. And he has an extensive record of drug trafficking and other criminal conduct, including engaging in sex trafficking activity, but he was brought in as sort of like, here's how you re-enter society. And then it turns out, I guess, according to the FBI at least, yeah, he was running drugs.
A lot of these nonprofits, man. It's like the stuff they find. It's disgusting. Disgraced FBI agent Peter Strzok loses long-running lawsuit over firing for anti-Trump texts. He's trying to say wrongfully terminated. Are you serious, dude?
That's a situation when you're caught with the embarrassing stuff and then the nefarious stuff, like we have the insurance policy against Donald Trump if he wins.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's where you take the L. Okay, that's where you just say, all right, I'm gonna go away.
Yes, suggesting the FBI might stop Trump before becoming president. If you remember that whole story. Then with his girlfriend, Lisa Page, the affair that was going on, all the incriminating texts, and saying, yep, wrongfully terminated. No, I don't think so. Getting all these updates we didn't have time for earlier. Oh, did you see where Trump went after Kamala for what she said in her book and in interviews, talking about it was the closest presidential race?
Oh, yeah.
The 21st century. Trump wrote on Truth Social, Kamala Harris, who is, all caps, dumb as a rock, is going around and using as a standard part of her speech on why she lost the election that 2024 was the closest presidential election in the 21st century. And then he shares this graphic that showed the election results by county, adding, everyone knows this is a lie and was covered as such by Fox News. I won the Electoral College 312 to 226, a quote, all caps, landslide. Counties nationwide 2,600 to 525, a all caps, landslide. All 7 swing states, a all caps, landslide. Dude, these are just hilarious. And despite the fact that California's fake mail-in ballots came in at ridiculous numbers, parentheses, it was all caps, rigged, exclamation mark, I still won the popular vote by millions. The Trumpster.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, and one other thing. With Scott not being here, we can't ask him about it. I did text him asking, hey, dude, did you tune into the big Golden Bachelor? Because that's one of his shows, right?
Yeah, well, he likes that show. He likes the Golden Bachelor, the Bachelorette. He's a big fan. Huge fan.
Yeah. Dancing with the Stars, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently this happened last night. If you remember, there was some controversy with this particular Golden Bachelor.
Oh, yeah.
Where he didn't want anybody over the age of 60.
Uh-huh.
You know, he said that in the beginning, and all these women were miffed about that. And so some of them were, asking him about it last night. One woman who is 71 not only asked about it, but then she uses a puppet. And she asked another question, I think, using the puppet. And the way I understand it, then she hit him over the head with the puppet. Can you imagine being back out there? And I don't know this guy's story. I know the one before, it was like his wife had passed away, and he was nervous about getting back out there. At least that was the story. And on one of your dates, here's this woman, and she's got her puppet, and she's talking through the puppet. Isn't that the time you go, you know what, I'm fine by myself?
Yeah, that's where it's like, I'm
good.
I'm going to pay the check and get out of here.
Here's audio of that last night.
Hi, Mel. I'm Terry from Houston, and this is Carly, my favorite dental assistant. Hi, Neil. I bet you weren't expecting all these women over 60.
Oh, my gosh.
Why'd she have to be from Houston, my hometown? Why? Why did that have to be a thing?
It's like, oh my gosh. Am I in hell right now? What's going on? Roll it.
I bet you weren't expecting all these women over 60 to look so hot, right?
Correct.
And I bet you weren't expecting this either, buddy.
Get him.
I don't think I've ever been hit by a puppet before.
That was for all women over 60 because he has never been exposed to women like us.
Okay.
Great job proving his initial point, lady. He's seen the No Kings rallies. He knows what you people are up to.
I will rarely quote Bono, but I'll do it now. Tonight, thank God it's him instead of you.
Yeah.
Got to get to a news update. And Nimrod's in the news straight ahead.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-7700. 800-885-7700. That's 800-885-7700.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp. Scott Robbins will be back on Monday. Still here with his voice.
Football season is back on Prize Picks. Every day we make choices, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So kick off the season right by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use the code MVCR on the Prize Picks app. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Plus, the app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. With simple stats and user-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code MVCR. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
News update, David Van Camp.
Well, the FBI is speaking now, giving an update on the attack on the ICE facility in Dallas. U.S. Attorney Larson confirms the ICE Dallas shooter was a left-wing terrorist who was targeting ICE agents. He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility, and he hoped to minimize any collateral damage or injury to the detainees or any other innocent people. Whoops, you killed one, and you sent 2 to the hospital. And then he had hoped his actions would give ICE agents real terror of being gunned down.
Real terror, so they would always be looking around.
Yes.
Just evil, man. All right. Thanks for the update. Now, Nimrods.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Dean.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News. We go to Marlborough, Massachusetts. Little shoplifting incident there. Police got called to the target. They got this guy, Tevin Haywood. He's 31 with a lady friend. They stole some stuff. Gonna arrest him. All of a sudden, Tevin, he starts putting bags in his mouth with a white substance that happened to be cocaine and fentanyl. He's in a whole lot of trouble. Lucky to be alive. And that's Nimrod.